guys, and welcome back to another episode of From the Shadows. As always guys, if you are enjoying the series, it'd be fantastic if you leave a like on the video. If we could get it to 150 again, that would be amazing. Right then, let's do ourselves a little question of the day. Let's see if I can, once again I've forgotten to choose one off my list because I'm an idiot. When and why did you start playing Football Manager? I think I've answered this one before, but not on a question of the day thing. So basically, it's kind of really a backwards way of doing it. I used to play FIFA Manager, again, don't hurt me, because I didn't really know what Football Manager was, and, well, I did, but I kind of, at the time, I just considered it a bit boring, and I know that sounds stupid to now when I'm doing this, but, again, I think it's a bit of a steep learning curve for some people. And, basically, at Christmas a couple of years ago, and this is literally within 2 or 3 years, I got a Kindle, and with it, I got a book called, I think it was Football Manager Stole My Life. It was just, I think a lot of you probably would have read it. Ian McIntosh contributed a lot to it. And I read that, and it just made me want to play the game. So I bought the game. I got it really cheap, obviously, because it was after Christmas. And yeah, I played it ever since, basically. So there you go. How did you guys start playing Football Manager? What got you into it, you know? Let me know in the comments. And if you do have any ideas for a question of the day, do drop them in the comments as well with the hashtag QOTD. Right, so let's get into things today. Now, also, in the last episode of From the Shadows, I talked about a couple of other sort of, not series ideas, but other ideas, and I don't think I explained them very well. The reason probably because I tried to do it while we were doing the live com to not take up too much space at the start of an episode, but I feel like I should probably go through them a little bit more now in what I actually wanted to do. So basically, the Bomb of Christmas idea, it wouldn't be that actually, because I run some tests, and the problem is at Christmas it's only halfway through the season, and I think no matter how far you are behind, I feel like it would be a little bit too easy to do that. So I might change it to something like the March to Safety, which is where we start on the 1st of March and pick a team that's either between 5 and 10 points from safety and bottom of their league, and then go for it from there. But the point is, the whole point of this is it's supposed to be a one-off thing I can do, and I can do more of them, but they'll all be one-offs as part of the same series. It's not going to be like me pick up a team and then do a whole series on it. That's not the point of what I'm trying to do. It's either you win or you either keep them up or you don't. That's that. I want to do is want to start getting some sort of one-off videos into FM that aren't experiments. I want to see more of that sort of thing for FM16, and I feel like these are the best ways of doing it, because scenarios you can't do on FM normal, and I'd like to see that sort of thing added to it, basically, and I feel like this is the best way of doing that. Now, as for the tactics idea, I feel like they both have their own charms. Basically, the idea of that was, basically, people have a lot of tactic ideas, and people send them to me, and there's ones online, and I would have a set team in a set position, and I would try the tactic with that team every single time over a set period of games, and we would compare the results, and if you had a tactic you thought worked amazingly, you would let me. That's basically the idea of that. So that I just wanted to sort of get those things clear, because I think there was some confusion about what I was actually talking about with some of those ideas, basically. So that's the one that I'm really quite interested in doing, is the March to Safety idea. And I also think there might be a chance for collaborations with other YouTubers if I did that at a later date as well, where we both were given the same save and had to control the same team and see who did better. That's another idea I've had to do with that. So basically, it would give me a chance to try out some different teams and maybe some slightly surprising ones in sort of interesting positions, and the reason I do it in the future is so that we don't end up with the same scenarios every single time. So there we go. Let's get into what's been going on this month in Paris. So obviously in the last episode we smashed Stade Caen 4-0, and it put us on a bit of an upward spiral for once, and we've had our fair share of bad ones for a while, but thankfully we're back on the goodness. A brilliant 3-1 win away at Montpellier in a game we really probably didn't deserve to win. In fact, probably deserving to draw would have been a bit harsh. But the 2 penalties that we won, and we actually scored them both as well. 2 penalties in the game being scored is something I rarely actually see, but we did get both of them. Alberto Cherry with a hat-trick, of course. Now, there you go, basically. I mean, what else can I say? We were fantastic. 3-1 up by half-time, and in the second half, we just sort of chilled on it, really, didn't we? I am looking at some players, but in the next episode, because there's not that many games in it, apart from the cup final, as you'll see, I'm going to be doing more to do with what I'm going to be looking at in terms of players over the summer, as well as the squad report. So hopefully those of you that wanted that will be interested in it, essentially. So next up we had Angers at home, and yeah, I expected to get the win, and we did, albeit not that emphatically, to be honest. Dominic Gape, another goal, and I still thought about giving him a contract, but he just wants so much money, and I can't guarantee that I'd be able to sell him on. That's the problem. Luis got us a goal as well. He's been fantastic. And then before, Jonathan Kodjia got one back for Angers, but it was too late, and the game was won. A 2-1 win for us. Lovely old job. Next up, we have Monaco in the cup, and this was a very strange one, because we've been so good in extra time. If we take a team to extra time, we seem to absolutely smash them, and that's exactly what happened here. And one man, you'll notice here, was man of the match, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you for why. Also, look at the name, Lilian Villain, or Villan. I wish his name was Lilian Villian. That would be brilliant. Oh, that was a poem and a half. Made it 1-0 to Monaco early on, before we did get one back. through Abraham and Bar, the man himself. We then went back behind through Pelletier, but then Luis equalised for us, and it took us to extra time, where Bargucci, Cherry, and then Abraham and Bar with a second goal of the game. I was amazed, considering he was playing at left back in today's game as well. I think that's probably what allowed him that opportunity, but they were both from open play as well. They weren't corners or anything, they were both from open play. It was fantastic stuff. Park Jae-won's injury though, a little bit of a worry, but we are through to the final where we're playing against Bordeaux, because I didn't notice this, Marseille knocked out Paris Saint-Germain in the quarterfinals, 1-0. I didn't even notice it. So this could be tough actually, because Bordeaux are, where are they in the league? They're 8th, so we may actually have to win that to get European football next year, or rely on our league position, so it's not quite as easy as it was last year. Next up though, we had Stade Rennais away from home. No chance. We just weren't at the races in this one. Simone Zaza with 2 quick goals late in the second half, and it was 2-0 to Stade Rennais. Game over, really. And then we had Nantes in the league, and a home draw against them was not exactly ideal either, particularly as we scored both goals and probably should have won it. Alberto Cherry and, of course, Jeremy Aubin with the own goal to Nantes, and then they had a man sent off, but it was way too late for us to do anything about it. That leaves the league looking like this. We're currently 6th, still in the top 6, and 3 points above Monaco, which is key. And we have a game in hand over some of the teams below that as well. So it's looking good for a top 6 finish, hopefully, unless we really do screw it up. And that's still perfectly within our remit, as you know from the past. But there's still that hope that we could maybe even get 4. I don't know. The top 3 look out of sight now. In fact, both Paris Saint-Germain and Stade Rennais have already qualified for the Champions League. That's how far away they are. But you never know. Let's take a little look at the squad. Now, as for goals, Alberto Cherry, 34 in 43. Fantastic. I think he's got enough to get near to 40 this year. Not sure if he'll actually get to it, but he'll be very close to it. Bargucci with 14 as well. He's got double figures in both categories now, which is ideal. Ivor Holt's done well out on loan as well, you'll see. Aslan, I could do with some more assists from him, and Park Jae-won, maybe a couple more goals, but Bargucci, you can't fault him. He's been superb this season. I really, really appreciate his work. So, let's get into today's game against Paris Saint-Germain. It's going to be tough. I need to make sure that my settings are okay as well, because I've just been recording some games with Belgium, which meant that I had it on extended highlights, so we'll need to make sure that that is all back to normal for this save, and I worry that it won't be. Right, so we're away from home. I'm not overly confident. Right, now it has still changed some stuff because of the Belgium save. Right, okay, there we go. I hate that. So we're going to take it off of control and go to counter, because it is PSG, and we do have to be careful what we do here. So, Cherry, Park Jae-won, Pereira, Gape, Luis, Bulens, Wagner, Oban, Umbar, Ruiz, and Sigrist. Again, like I said, I'm looking at some players. I'm still scouting a few. I've got loads more being scouted, of course, but I've got a short list of maybe 6 or 7 now that I'm looking at, maybe trying to get, depending on whether we can or not, is a different matter. But, of course, yeah, and Al-Qaeda, or Al-Qaeda, I believe his name is actually pronounced, has now joined us. I'm trying to get him out on loan, though, because he can't obviously be registered for the team, which is annoying. So, let's get into things today. But yeah, in the next episode, we'll be doing a whole sort of transfer thing towards the end, where I'll show you sort of some of the players and you guys can give me opinions. I may have, of course, already had to have gone and signed a few of them, but you get my point. I know it's still set to key. That's fantastic. Sometimes it carries over and sometimes it doesn't. It's really strange. Fairly long. Well, we're going to have to give it a crack. Digne's not playing, so that could be interesting. So they're going with Correa, Depay, Lamela, Højbjerg, Kovacic, Romero, David Luiz, Vallejo, Marquinhos, Danilo, and Sirigu. It's pretty much a very similar team to the one that... They haven't changed it that much, although they have still been signing players. That much I do know. So we're just going to do our best, basically. What other choice have we got? Hopefully the fluidity will work out. As you can see, the fluidity has certainly helped us this month with the games that we've played. I think that's the main change. Although I am still looking to do some tweaks, maybe even build a second tactic over the summer. Not entirely sure on that one just yet. I'm still quite liking this tactic, to be honest. But I do think I need to slowly start building a backup. I just don't know if I'm going to have time over this particular summer of the game, basically. So that's a little bit annoying. 2 minutes in, though. Vallejo with the ball out on the right-hand side. Goes in short to Kovacic. He's gone through and it's a penalty. Yep. Dominic Gape. Doing a Gape. And giving away a penalty. I'm surprised it wasn't Carlos Ruiz, to be honest, guys, because, he's got that in his game, hasn't he? We're going to be behind after just 3 minutes, and it's going to be Lucas Romero. We gave away a lot of penalties and free kicks against them in the first game this season as well, I believe. But we're a goal down after just 3 minutes. Clearly, there is still a massive gap to be bridged between us and PSG. It looked like it was closing up briefly when we got that draw, but they really have put pedal to metal since then and are starting to extend themselves a little bit more, but that's because they're able to sign better players than we are at the moment. But I feel as some of our players, I think, have got the potential to be great players, and given a few more seasons, I think they're going to really start to come into their own, and we'll have a few more coming through. Bulens with the free kick, and it's saved. Pereira on the rebound. It's 1-1. PSG 1, Paris FC. Oh no, that is the last thing we need right now. I'll tell you what, guys, I don't want to keep him on, just because I don't want to risk losing him properly. I'm going to have to bring Aslan on. Aslan's going to come on up top for us. But the point is, we have actually given ourselves an amazing equaliser here. And look at that, we've actually had 3 shots in this game. Admittedly, 2 of them were just then, I suppose. Bueller's with a great long-range free kick. Sirigu, not the best goalkeeping there. I was also surprised that Pereira was able to get on the rebound. And oh my days from Sirigu. It's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Paris FC 1. And out of nowhere, we are level in this match and having a lovely old time. But I still feel that this is probably not going to go our way. But it's nice to see us score a goal against PSG, and for Quinton Pereira to get the goal as well. A player that will slowly probably fade away from being a first teamer over the next couple of seasons, but he's still done a great job for us this year. Depay now into Correa, and it's immediately equalised against, not equalised, cancelled out, I suppose. Our equaliser has been cancelled out by Angel Correa, and it is 2-1 to PSG again. But looking at the way this game started, we've actually matched them in terms of shots, but they have been creating better chances. You know, 3 of our 4 shots have been from long range, so you've got to take these things into account when you're doing this. David Luiz, sorry, my mouse is going a bit funny again. They're turning the screw a little bit now, but not that much really. They've actually only, there we go. Oh god, are you serious? Aslan's injured as well. We've lost both strikers in this game. Okay, Bargugi is still a better striker than Hugo is, so second substitution of the match, Fawzi Bargugi is going to come on up top. But losing Aslan again, it's just not been his year. I really hope next year he can put those injury troubles behind him. I'll tell you what, as much as we're losing, I'm actually really pleased with the way we're playing. We're limiting them to very few chances. I'm wondering if that's down to the fluidity, but that should really not affect us that much defensively. I don't know. I might do us a little concentrate team talk just to sort of shake things up a little bit more. See if we can, maybe it'll affect us in terms of our defensing, as well as our attacking. Yeah, I'm just making things up now. Park Jae-won, oh Chris, don't get sent off immediately. We don't need another Dominic Gape, and Park Jae-won will stay on the pitch. Thank God for that. We've already made 2 subs, which is not exactly ideal. Oh, wow. Look at that, out of nowhere. PSG have just gone, actually, we'd quite like to win this game by a large amount. And they've really had to kick up the arse in half-time, it would seem. Gape, what is Gape doing? He could have easily won that ball, and there's so many players there that could have put the tackle in, but it is looking a little bit more tight. But as long as it's 2-1, there's always the hope for us to get an equaliser in this game. Gape with the clearance to Park Jae-won. We've got a lot of players on bookings as well, I'm seeing. Bargugi is not much of an outlet up top, unfortunately. He doesn't have that... he's not like a target now we can lump it up to. With Cherry, we can get away with doing that. He can hold the play up. Depay now with a free kick. Cleared away. No, not cleared away. Danilo with a bullet header from the fullback. Paris Saint-Germain 3. Well, let's go to control. Let's give this a crack. We may as well at this point. We held our own in that first half, and maybe we're even unlucky to go in behind, but look at that. Big header from Danilo. Man on the post doing the perfect job of nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Just absolutely nothing at all. Right. One more change. We may as well make it. Uchan is going to come in the middle for Dominic Gape because he's already on the booking and he's given away a penalty today. Not best pleased with you, Dominic. Perhaps attacking or overload? Then again, what's the point overloading against PSG? Screw it, we may as well. 15 minutes to go. Let's try and get ourselves at least a Hail Mary to get a goal back and make it a little bit more, not flattering. It would certainly flatter us if we were to get a goal back, but 3-1 isn't as bad as it has been for us, but then they'll probably go and score 5 goals in the remaining 10 minutes. So there is that as well. Lille are beating Monaco, which is definitely playing into our hands because they're one of our main rivals, and it was all 5-4 in that game. So many goals. It is looking like it's going to be a 3-1 defeat at PSG, but it certainly isn't as bad as it's been, and we did score a goal, so all is not lost, let's say. We can't fault... No, I genuinely don't think we can fault them after that. They did their best, really. The injuries to Cherry and Aslan, though, could be the killer for me, and I really am going to have to... We're going to go and check right now, actually, to see how bad they are. Please don't be too serious. Cherry is... gash lower leg. That means you'll probably miss the Lyon game, but be okay after that. So, guys, in the next episode, of course, we're going to do the French Cup final. We've got games against Lyon, Bordeaux, and Lille. So, really quite difficult ones. You know, 5th place, 9th place, 7th place games, but 2 of them are at home. I think if we can win the 2 home games, we should be able to get ourselves into the top 6. But it is all up for grabs, and we do have the Bordeaux Cup final game, and that's going to be our live com in the next episode, along with all the other goodies. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please do drop a big old like on this video. If we can get it to 150, then that would be fantastic. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do hit that big old subscribe button for more videos like this, and of course, Outcast icons in your inbox every single day at 7 o'clock. And I'll see you guys, is it 7 o'clock? It is 7 o'clock. I'll see you guys in the next episode for the Cup final against Bordeaux. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.